Welcome to Fanboy and Critic, our show where we go see new movies out in theaters and give you our review.
Both the good and the bad. I'm Joe Mortiz and I'll be your fanboy.
And I'm Sam McClure, I'll be your critic. This week on Fanboy and Critic, we went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is Ant-Man 3 to be short. Directed by Peyton Reed, starring Paul Rudd, Michelle Pfeiffer, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Jonathan Majors. I can't think of anybody else. It's a big cast, but those are the main hits. And if you don't know what Ant-Man is, he is a Marvel superhero that gets bigger and smaller. Those are his powers, and he goes to the quantum universe and does superhero stuff this time. All right, Jay, fanboy, I know you love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Tell us what Peyton Reed and Paul Rudd and the whole team did well this time.
My favorite parts of this movie was just the quantum world. It was definitely, there's a lot of things that didn't look similar to other stuff, and that's hard to do, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. I mean, from all the different kind of races, the language barriers and stuff like that, that was really cool.
Yeah?
And like all the other characters that were involved, I love that the most. But other than that, I think Paul Rudd did a great job being Paul Rudd. He's not being Ant-Man. He's being himself.
Paul Rudd.
And he's just great. I mean, all the jokes they cracked in this movie, surprisingly, were great. I mean, with the past Marvel films that came out, they were just trying way too hard, and this all felt natural. And that's what I want to see in Marvel films, is just natural jokes, nothing forced upon us. And I laughed at everything. The only maybe little critique I have is the villain. But other than that, the quantum world is awesome. That's what I love the most about it.
Kang the Conquerer is the villain. It's in the trailer, it's not a spoiler. I would say, yeah, a lot of your points are really good. Like, Marvel continues to do an excellent job world building. It's hard to keep expanding their universe, but they do a great job and everything feels different and kind of new and fun. Paul Rudd is obviously amazing. I think the writing kind of doesn't do him justice because they kind of write as Paul Rudd performs. They're like, here's a line that's very Paul Rudd, but like Paul Rudd will do that with a normal line, like an unwritten line. He will perform the hell out of it. So there are sometimes you could tell like they wrote that line
For
to
Paul
like
Rudd.
trying to stylize his own natural like way he talks. And then it came off kind of stilted to me. Okay. Like, he's naturally funny. Just write lines for him and he will naturally be funny. You're right, Kang the Conqueror is not, I don't know, he's supposed to be this face's like big bad villain, I guess? I don't know. Not doing that much for me. I mean, this isn't much of a spoiler, like his powers are very undefined. He's just
Very true.
Just like Captain Marvel, he's like energy blast person, and I'm like, okay. I mean, Thanos, you're not gonna beat Thanos with this guy. The climax kind of fell flat for me in that they were working so hard the entire movie to do one certain thing, and then once they hit the climax, it's like, oh no, that was super easy to do, and we're just gonna do it to kind of like wrap things up in the end. The other criticism I have is just Marvel in general. They've given themselves this problem of dramatic escalation, so everything has to be world-ending. How do you top that? Everybody's just exhausted from the world almost ending every single movie. It's like you have to bring it back small. For example, like Logan, like the last Logan movie,
yeah.
Super small story, and it hit so right in every
Exactly.
way. And every movie since the Endgame has been kind of suffering from that escalation.
Yep.
Now it's time for you to convince the critics out there to go see yet another MCU Ant-Man movie.
Convince the critics. You know what you're getting yourself into. It's Paul Rudd. It's the only reason I went to really watch it. I mean, Paul Rudd is amazing. He makes the Ant-Man character, hero, amazing. And you know what to expect. It's gonna be jokes, and some action. And that's an MCU movie for you. You know what you're watching. Check it out.
All right, fanboys. Aren't you exhausted enough with the MCU yet? I know you love the MCU, but like, go rewatch, like, they're all on Disney Plus, and if you're a fanboy, I know you got Disney Plus. Go rewatch, like, the Infinity Saga, because this movie doesn't feel like it. It doesn't hit it right. And it's not the worst movie in the MCU, even in the original Infinity Saga, but it just seems like added on. It's the DLC content to the MCU. And do you need to go to theaters to see that? I don't know. It's up to you. Your call.
That was pretty well said. You got this, fanboy. Kind of believing in you.
All right, Jay. Let's give it a rating. Give it a rating.
All right, my rating for this film, as much as I want to say I was entertained, I loved the whole quantum world, I was leaning towards a like, but after you kind of convinced me, I'm kind of at a Y. I'm kind of at a Y with this. I feel like I'm at a Y just because of the villain. Like, why did you waste your main villain of this whole story saga on the Ant-Man? And it's gonna, for me, I think it's just gonna be lackluster for anything after this.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's really hard for me to say. Like I said, I was really amazed at all the whole quantum world, and I usually just lean towards liking something just because of the visuals, but kind of lackluster with the villain, Marvel, so I'm at a Y.
I do think the visuals were really cool. I do think the quantum world was really cool.
Yeah.
The visual design, like the ship design, I thought was really cool. It stood out to me.
Sure.
Yeah, you're right. The villain, if the villain is going like toe to toe with Ant-Man and like they're punching it out at equal rates, you don't have a full saga villain. I'm sorry, you don't. But we're here to like. I guess I did my job really well and convinced you not to like it, but I do like it.
Okay.
I give it a like. I honestly don't think it's the worst movie to go see in theaters. We saw it in 3D. I thought the 3D was going to be more impressive. I thought this particular like universe was going to be cool in 3D, and they didn't push it very far. But visually, other than not being satisfied with the 3D aspect of it, visually a great movie. All right, fanboys and critics, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Go check out the Patreon for more stuff, and we'll see you next week for Cocaine Bear.
And we'll see you for the next review.
Bebop. You guys are gonna have to sit.
Bebop got us.
Bebop got us. Hi, Bebop. Hi, Bebop.
Totally farted.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.